Welcome to the VET S.O.S podcast. Remember, don't drown the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S lifeline. We're brought to you by the Who You Know Network and proud members of the Parade Deck community. We can also now be heard on Reach Across America Radio on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. You can find Reach Across America Radio on the iHeartRadio, Odyssey, and TuneIn apps. We're sitting down today with Wayne Soares. He has a fascinating career and is doing wonderful things to highlight the veterans in our community. This is going to be a real fun episode with some great discussion. I'm looking forward to getting into what he's doing. And look who's back in the hot seat. Eric, how you doing today?
I'm honored to be back. I can't believe you keep calling me back. I don't know if you're a glutton for punishment or if you just can't find anyone else, man.
Hey man, it's sometimes we have to scratch the bottom of the barrel, right?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, and I'm okay being down there.
No, man, we love having you back here. Great to see you, and it's always great catching up with you too. So appreciate you filling in here. Well, Keith's out on vacation, enjoying his family time, which is always wonderful, as we both know.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump right into it. We got Wayne Soares. He's an actor, syndicated columnist, and entertainer. The former ESPN and Fox Sports Net broadcaster, also entertains our troops at home and abroad, and is a big favorite at American Legion conventions. He is the current host of the popular veteran cooking show, The Mess Hall, and the creator and co-producer of the Vietnam veterans documentary, Silent Dignity. Quite the list of things. I don't know how many entertainers we've had on here, Wayne. So this is definitely interesting. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm probably the first one that looks like Shrek. So you guys are going to be making it nice and easy on me then today, huh?
Man,
hey, you're like an onion, brother.
Yeah, you know how cars have the video players in them now and everything. When our kids were little, we'd always put videos in there, and I think I was deployed, and my wife was driving, and my son goes, "Daddy, Daddy," and he started pointing at the TV. It was the Shrek movie. That's
right.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah.
Yep. So, knew I had a face for radio long ago.
That's it, right?
All right, so. Not a veteran yourself. Please tell us, how did you get to the point where you started working with veterans? What led you down that pathway?
Yeah, no, I'm always up front. Not a veteran, but I have a tremendous passion for our men and women that have served our great country. I think it started out, guys, probably about 14 years ago. I started storyboarding and came up with the idea to write a column about veterans titled Veteran Spotlight. And I went to the local newspaper, a good friend, Bill Huff, who was the publisher, and he liked it. And it just kept it. People started to read it. It became quite popular. And so I've done probably, I just counted earlier this week, about I've just done a little under 800 interviews with veterans, 787, to date. So that's really how I got into it. And then when I was at ESPN, I became good friends with Oakland Raider great Otis Sistrunk. And Otis was at Fort Lewis at the time. He was the director of Cowan Stadium, where they have all their events and things like that. And I said, hey, Trunk, can you get me out there? I just got to stand up. I'd like to entertain the troops. And he got me out there and set me up there for about 5 days. So I was just, and we all know Fort Lewis is a huge place. So I had a lot of work. They kept me real busy, and then it just started to mushrooms. Their public affairs people were kind enough to recommend me to other bases and things like that, and did some USO work. So it's really how it started.
Man, I love that. And Eric, I know you were the beneficiary too of a bunch of those USO trips downrange, probably, and. Man, just love the people that do the USO work. That's fantastic stuff for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't see a lot of those shows because, deployment experiences vary, Sean. And I was frequently not available for those shows.
Well, guys, the funniest thing about it was they're public affairs people, and my first show that I did was the biggest audience I've ever been in front of. I mean, I'm doing like little local clubs around Boston, and I'm doing, birthday parties and things like that. And this was a really big opportunity for me. So I really wanted to prepare and do well. And their public affairs, I forget the general's name though. He was a 3-star, And they said he's going to be in attendance, just for argument's sake, General Smith. And please, Mr. Soares, you can't make fun of the general. Please stay away from him. Don't make fun of him. Please don't. And this went on like for a month, back and forth, phone calls. I get there. The last thing they tell me before I'm introduced is, please, General Smith is in the front row. He wants to meet you afterwards. So please don't make fun of him. Oh, yeah, you guys got it. They introduced me. I come out. Thank everybody. In particular, I'd like to thank General Smith. Sir, it's an honor for me to come and perform here for you and your troops. And he gave me a stern nod. And I said, by the way, sir, you look the same as you did 35 years ago. And I paused and I said, old. And everybody in the audience looked at the general and he kind of gave a little, right? And I said, when the General Smith was young, the Dead Sea was only sick. And again, everybody else looked at him. This is a man that embarrassed everybody at the Last Supper by asking for seconds. And now he's just kind of doubled over and everybody's loving it. So you never tell. And it was all with propriety and nothing underhanded or stuff like that. But thank God that the general probably would have had me shot if he didn't like the joke. So
I've got to ask Wayne, what year was that?
That was 2008, 2007.
Okay. I was stationed at Fort Lewis at that time.
Were you really?
I was. However, 2007, 2008, I was in Iraq. So.
Oh, okay.
Missed another show.
I missed another show. Yeah.
The show.
Yeah.
You didn't see Shrek. I mean, come on.
No, I didn't get to. That is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna leave the name out, but I think I know who you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't come to me right away, but yeah, it was a great honor and a great experience.
Just to let Eric squirm a little bit more. When I was in basic training, we actually got released one day to go to a USO show that came through base as well. So it was tough stuff.
Sean, life's all about choices.
Yeah, right.
And my life hasn't changed much. I consistently make the hardest ones.
Yep. I always enjoyed telling people in different MOSs, guess what? We're the same rank. We get paid the same.
Yeah. Facts.
Oh man. That's awesome. And it always amazed me, when you'd read stories about, especially when it comes to comedians, where people would say, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. It's like that's the Garden of Eden theory. You say don't do this, people are going to do it.
It's a kiss of death. It really, really, really is. It really is. And I'd like to just know too is, Sean, you afforded me the wonderful opportunity to do one of my veteran spotlight on you and Eric. I'd like to go ahead and extend that invitation to you as well to put something together. But Sean's was a wonderful article.
Yeah, it was fantastic, man. I was really honored by it, and the just how you captured it and everything, and the hard life of being an intelligence analyst in the Army.
Well, I was surprised at the 45 copies that you bought. So that was.
Yep, that's what everybody's getting for Christmas this year.
Mom always said he was special.
Oh, that's good. It was my honor. It was a great one, and yeah, again, Eric, I'd like to go ahead and extend that to you as well.
Yeah, I'd be honored, man. I'd be honored.
So tell us, since you brought it up, tell us a little bit more about the Veteran Spotlight thing and what that whole thing is.
Basically, it's got to the point now where there's a waiting line. I don't mean to be egotistical on that, but we had initially tried to, when I started this a while ago, I tried to get all the World War II people. And it's funny, we had a reception, might have been 10 years ago, right before COVID. And now actually before that. And we had like a little reception in my hometown of Falmouth, Massachusetts, where I was living at the time. And I looked to count it around the room. We had 16 World War II veterans that were there. And I believe I was going down the other night looking at pictures. We have just two left, just two left. But I people now are calling me and saying, "Hey, we'd like to feature so and so on your. Check this person out." I just did I was in the Williams, Dalton, Massachusetts, and I did interviewed a wonderful man. He's in my spotlight this week. Frank Scalise. He was a Korean War vet in the United States Army. He's 99 years old. And then probably how I met this person 8 years ago, I did one. He was 94 at the time. My good buddy, you're gonna love this name. It's the Chris Berman all name team. Chizo Massaconi. Chizo, he's 102 years old. Still has all of his teeth. His eyes are he has to play the trumpet a little bit sometimes with things he reads. The only thing really going on him is his knees. He's too old for a knee replacement, but drinks his red wine right out of a red Solo cup. Has a tremendous appetite. And the great story about Chizo, he was in Pearl Harbor 3 months after the Japanese bombed. He's United States Army, because they thought that the Japanese were going to come back and bomb again, so they brought the Army in. He went to the Battle of Saipan, was a flamethrower, and then finished up at Iwo Jima. He was on Iwo Jima for 8 months, and just wow. a wonderful, wonderful American patriot, a hero. And I try to get down there at least once a week to see him.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's the stories. His famous line to me: "If you wanted to get killed at night, all you had to do was get out of your foxhole." And the other one is, we were on the island for 8 months. We all smell the same.
I recognize that. That I can.
Right, Eric?
Yeah. That's a thing. The smell is amazing. The sense of smell is amazing. I remember, I don't know if it was the second or third time I made my trip overseas, and I remember stepping off the plane and kind of an elevated platform to walk down the stairs to the tarmac, and I remember just stopping and going, "It still smells the same." Like it was so familiar. It was so.
You can't forget that smell.
No, you don't.
Right.
That's amazing.
So to just continue answering your question, Sean, is that I started to seek different outlets, and I think the biggest one we have right now is Rally Point, which is the nation's largest online support network of active military and veterans. They've been wonderful. A lot of people enjoy it. It's great, and this is a very, very, very not controversial. It's very positive. It's showcasing the man or woman's career, and it's really all about them. And a lot of people are looking at this where, okay, geez, my kids didn't know what I did in service. My grandkids didn't know what I did in service. So it's really a good promotional piece for them personally.
Yep.
That's fantastic. And great to hear that you're working with Rally Point too, which is huge in our community as well.
Yes, it is.
Phenomenal organization.
So, Eric, you want to take us into one of both of our favorite topics?
Are we talking about the cooking show?
Oh yeah,
yeah, baby. So I told you, before we came on live, Wayne, I'm from the north, but I'm no fool. I married a Southern girl because I like to eat.
Oh, there you go.
This doesn't happen by accident.
There you go. Nothing like good Southern cooking, man.
That's right. Tell us about the veteran cooking show.
It's something that I created. It's called a mess hall, and it's not brain surgery. We have veterans that come on that cook. They whip up their favorite dish, and they present it. I'm involved in it. I don't do any of the cooking. I mean, I'm 6'4", 285 pounds, because other people cook for me. So I don't get involved in that, but we keep it very, very, very light, loose. A couple of components that we have in the cooking show are we've got fun food facts where we go back and talk about military food, to throw that up for that. We also have a segment called mail call, which we have a celebrity that will come on and say, Sergeant Joe Smith, thank you for your service to our great country. We really appreciate it. Just giving them a nice little rah-rah, pitch. And it's a 22-minute show. It's a half hour with commercials. We debuted last year on NBC, and we're looking to try to hopefully do something with the military. I'm not really we've had some discussions, but I'm not at liberty to really talk a lot about that. But I'd like to do it now with current and active military. We've done the veteran end of it, but to basically go to different bases and showcase the talents of that. So it's a lot of fun. When we started out, we did a lot of work with Soldier On, which is it's a great organization that I'm affiliated with. Bruce Buckley, he's the president, CEO. He's a very, very, very dear friend. It's a wonderful, wonderful organization. So we worked with a lot of his people, and they're not in a sense, they're not chefs. They love to cook. So we had them come on, and it does a lot for, as I said, it's very positive, but it does a lot for morale. It helps boost confidence. And it's amazing when guys, when they saw it on TV last year, they were like the big shots of their community. So I really, really, really enjoy doing it. It's wonderful. We've had some really great dishes on too.
That's awesome. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to make sure I watch the show because now I need to see it because, again, I love to eat. But you mentioned you highlight and spotlight military meals, military cooking, right? I'm assuming, I'm just going to go on a limb here, but I'm assuming you call that moments in PTSD or something like that.
Well, there's a couple of ones that we the old S.O.S, which somebody gave me when we first started out. We did a litany of suggestions from people, and they came back with, "Oh, you got to try this one, and then that one," and it's really, really intriguing as to some of the military food that that you folks had to eat.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That's a way to put it.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
That's so polite.
See, when he said that, Eric, I was thinking, oh, so the documentary is a horror show.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Buckle up. This is going to bring you back.
Yeah.
How to make this MRE edible.
Yeah. Now that I can do. That I'm an MRE chef.
You could definitely do a ton of segments on that one, I bet, alone.
Absolutely.
I think one of my producers researched something from World War I that I think it might have been the Confederate soldiers. They had these real hard tack biscuits that they basically used for everything. And it's just it's amazing what you research and come up with.
Yeah. Oh, I know, myself, being more of a fobbit and not really being out there in the mix of things, we were still creative with MREs. I can only imagine what Eric and his boys did with MREs.
I've had some fun. We've done some things. We've had some meals that weren't necessarily MREs. I will tell you that if you find yourself in a position where you are living off of a 50-pound bag of dates, although delicious, they do something to the insides. You can only have so many dates.
I think one of you guys said creativity was the word here too, right?
That's right. That's right. I felt like what was that Bubba Gump out there with my dates? We got bold dates, fried dates.
Oh my goodness.
So I got to ask, Wayne, in the cooking show, what has been, what will be your favorite recipe you've tried so far? And who to belong to if you can remember? Let's give them a shout out.
I would have to say it's my buddy Jason Stump, who's he is the head of food. He's the head of food service for Soldier On. He did an outstanding Maryland crab cakes with Mexican sweet corn. I believe roasted Mexican sweet corn. It was outstanding. It really was. We've had everything from breakfast sandwiches We've had a gentleman who was a Marine, a good friend, Gene Gavazzi, brought in a family recipe for sausage, 80 some years old. We've done a wonderful chicken stew that we've had. One of our Navy guys did that. We've done chicken Alfredo, which has been outstanding. It's been good. We've had homemade chowder. Really, really, really been wonderful.
Wow.
Nice. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I just want everyone to notice that I didn't make a single crayon joke when he brought up the Marine cooking. That's all I'm saying. I didn't make it, not one.
So you're behaving today.
I'm doing my best.
It's
Man.
great.
All right. So you also have been or have worked on this Vietnam veterans documentary. You want to tell us a little bit about that, because that's still one of those. The Vietnam War is one of those things. I think even as the current generation of veterans, we still respect and understand that they weren't taken care of the way they should have been, and that there's still, I think, steps being taken to try to remedy that as much as we can. So I'd love to hear more about this.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very proud of this. We won an Emmy last year. We had a wonderful friend, actor Armand Asante. He did the opening for me. We're currently working on episode 2, which he's come on as a co-producer. But the impetus for me to do this was I had 2 cousins that saw major action in Vietnam, and were guys that never, ever talked about it. And the 5 people that we featured in this, we also had one of the gentlemen's, Bob Sullivan, who did an immensely powerful job in this. His wife, Betsy, came on and talked about being home with 4 kids under 10, and just how she was always on edge every time she heard a car door, that she pictured that green military sedan coming up with the 2 officers and giving her that bad news. Colonel Kevin Doyle, United States Marine Corps, retired. He did a phenomenal job. Barry Funfar, Mike Cunningham. These guys were just really, 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 really explosive. They just did a really good job. And none of these that I've mentioned, none of these folks had ever talked about their experience. So I was really honored. We had a very nice setting to shoot this. We were down by the water. I didn't want to have it in the middle of town somewhere where you're going to have the car doors or a car backfire or something like that. So we put them at ease. We did a lot of research on this, and it's nothing to do with the war. It just was their experiences, and you could see the emotion that they had pent up inside of them was just so powerful and unbelievable. And I've done probably this year, we've probably done 20 to 25 screenings. And it's just something I'm very, 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 very proud of, that we were able to help these people. Barry Funfar has become a dear friend. His family, we become very close. He never talked about it for 35 years. And this really gave him an opportunity to open up. And we were out one night on a social occasion, and his wife and I were at the bar getting a drink, and she said, look what you've done to my husband. And I said, well, whoa, what do you mean? She goes, Wayne, he would have been in a corner 5 years ago, by himself. So I'm very proud of the fact that we're trying to help people heal. As you guys know, combat veterans, you never get full closure, but if we can help them get just a little bit closer, that's what I'm the most proud of. I could care less about the award or the awards or that, but it's helping that these men and women that really struggle with that for so many years.
That's incredible.
Completely agree with that. And I know I had no idea really when we started this thing, how powerful the stories were going to be that we'd hear and things like that. And I've just been overwhelmed personally. And I can only imagine, sitting down and opening up 35-year-old, wounds and stories that they've been keeping inside. I can only imagine just what that personally would do to them, and really just, hopefully give them that full sense of relief almost.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Wayne, as somebody who has benefited from following the footsteps of men like that, right? Those are guys that paved the way for us. So just from me to you, man, I'm so grateful that you gave our heroes and the guys that paved the way for us an outlet and a place to share their story and a place to be experience some healing. So just from me to you, brother, I really appreciate you, man, because those are guys I look up to. Those are my heroes, right? So that means a lot. Yeah, brother.
Yeah, we try to say we just give them a long-awaited, long overdue welcome home. And one of the stories in there, which is quite powerful, that Colonel Doyle actually tells, he was in the jungle along the Ho Chi Minh Trail, and they had been in a firefight. Excuse me. One of the men in his company had taken one through the jaw, so he was all wrapped up and couldn't. And so Colonel Doyle stayed with him overnight and said, "Look, I know you can't talk, but I'm gonna be here with you. You gotta listen to me." And the next morning they came in to extract him. They had the wearing overhead, and they lowered down the horse collar. The guy hadn't said anything all night, and as he's being lifted up, he goes and he breaks into a slow salute to give to the colonel. And I still get very emotional when I see it, when I talk about it, because it's just something that you would never picture yourself in or being able to witness that. And that's just powerful. Really, really, really powerful.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have to say, and we're getting close to the end here, and already.
Hey, my agent said it was an hour.
Oh, did your agent tell you were getting paid too?
It's SOARES. Okay.
Yep. We'll make sure the check's right.
Yep. But I personally, I have to thank you for making us laugh, early in the morning, and I realize this is going to come out at night and everything, but we do our recordings like this, and the fact that just right out the gate, man, you have us laughing, having a good time, and the fact that you're giving back to the veteran community and making us laugh as a community, bringing us the seriousness as well, having fun with the cooking. So all these little things, man, are just huge, and I want to thank you as well, because it's just wonderful work that I think you're doing to really highlight the people in our community and bring a lot of our stories forward.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. That means a great deal. And, just what you guys are doing with the show here, you're impacting people, you're giving them a voice, you're allowing them to come on and to be showcased and to be recognized. So that's a great thing for that you guys are doing. So I applaud you 100%. And before we leave, it wouldn't be me if I didn't give you the joke of the day.
Come on, let's get it.
Oh, all right. So there's a guy, he's crawling across the desert on his hands and knees, yelling, "Water, water." He comes across a tie salesman. Guy says, "Water." Tie salesman says, "I don't have any water. I sell ties. You want to buy a tie?" Guy says, "No." Tie salesman says, "Okay." He says, 25 miles south. He says, "You're going to come to an inn. You can get water there." Guy looks at him a little skeptical. He says, "Okay." 2.5 days later, here comes the same guy, 10 times worse, crawling on his belly, beet red face, tongue hanging out. He says, "Water, water." Guy says, "What's the matter? Didn't you get any water at the inn?" The guy says, "No, they wouldn't let me in without a tie." I'm here all week, guys. I'm here all week.
That's awesome. Oh, man. That is awesome. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, hey, listen, I've got one more question for you, sir.
Sure.
And it's very simple. If our audience wants to connect with you, what's the best place or the best modality for them to do that?
You can, my email is Wayne Soares 1@gmail.com, or you can go to our website for Silent Dignity, silentdignity.us. You can connect with me there. Those are the two best places.
Outstanding. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Oh,
Listen, On behalf of the VET S.O.S family, we'd like to thank both you and everyone else that's been watching today for joining us. Make sure to follow and subscribe to us on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms. Remember, oh man, it's been a while since I've gotten to say this, but guys, listen, don't drown in a sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S Lifeline.